Ladies and gentlemen, this is the very first Black Women in Radio Authors Summit. I am so excited to get you guys together.
Name of my book, How to Embrace Millionaire. And like I said before, it is a book. It's a super short book. It's something that I wrote purposely so that women would be able to pick it up, throw it in their purse, read it quickly on the train on the way to work, or just over a weekend when you got some downtime. And it stems from my money story. Growing up, I watched my parents and my family members, all of whom are brilliant. They all worked really hard, came from a really good work ethic, but they always talked about how money was such a struggle for them. Constantly, I heard, I got to rob Peter to pay Paul. I'm trying to make ends meet. And I'm looking at all these brilliant people, and I'm like, why does everybody around me struggle? And lo and behold, I took some of that same story into my adulthood. So here I am working in radio and TV and getting accolades and awards and critical acclaim for all this work I was doing, but it was not showing up in my bank account. So when I finally got to that breaking point, when I went to my station manager, who you Chicago girls will know who she is at WBON, amazing sister. She's still my sister to this day. I went to her to finally ask for a raise after not receiving a pay increase for 4 years, and went through all the protocols. We sat down in the meeting, had some little small talk, and then we finally got to the place where it was time to talk about the raise. And she politely said to me, "Monique, we love you. You're doing a great job, but unfortunately, there's no money here for you to get a raise." And I remember vividly leaving that meeting and walking outside the station into the parking lot, questioning, why is it that I and everybody who works at this station, we do the job of at least 2 to 3 people, but there's no money to pay us. And as I began to study money, I came up with 2 things. I said, number one, I got to have more than one income stream. I can't rely on getting paid twice a month from the radio station, because what they paying me ain't enough anyway. And I'm doing all this other stuff I'm not getting paid for. But I knew that I had to come up with 2 income streams, but I also knew that I had to figure out what was standing between me and my money. It wasn't just that I worked at a Black radio station. It wasn't that I didn't have the right network. I knew I had the right connections. What I found out as I studied and learned more about how money works is that it's the story that I was telling myself that came from what I learned from my mother. And then that's what I tell people. Sometimes your mother's beliefs about money might be causing you to be broke or struggling with money right now, and you not even realize it. So the only thing that's standing between women and their money is the story that they tell themselves. And for us as Black women, it's even more unique because we come from a unique experience from the get-go, right? We know that. I think everybody here, we can all attest to the fact that we came from resourceful women in our family. We've seen people do what they had to do to get it done. And so we know how to do things. We're brilliant, we're strong, and all that. But this idea about money is something that we have to work on for ourselves, and then be able to help other sisters so that they can avoid some of the struggle. I know this is what I want to do, help them avoid the struggles that I had. So the book is all about how to create the story that fits the woman that you are today, so that you can create those income streams, active and passive income streams, so that you can be making money while you sleep, so that you can uncover all that stuff that you picked up from your mother, your grandmother about money being the root of all evil. That's a lie from the pit of hell. And we got to finally straighten that out, get that straight in our minds, because every single person on here deserves to be a multi-millionaire.
That's right.
Just like real talk. Like everybody here, you want to be able to take care of your parents as they age. You want to make sure your babies can go to college debt free. You want to make sure that you can give your son or your daughter a start in life. Once they graduate from college, I want my son to have a house, a car, everything he needs. I think that needs to become the norm and the narrative, as opposed to passing this idea of struggle generation after generation. Like, what What
is that? Yeah.
No, that's like we got to get rid of that. So this book it's a short book, obviously. So it's not going to answer all the questions, but unleashing your inner millionaire is dealing with the dollars and cents of who we are and what we do in the story, but also recognizing, and this is important, that embracing your inner millionaire is not just about your bank account. It's about recognizing that, oh my God, we're in the middle of a pandemic and nobody in my family is sick. Like, I'm healthy. I'm 50 years old and I'm in the best health of my entire life. When I was in radio and TV in my 20s and 30s and 40s, I was stressed out and sick. I had chronic diseases. I had my pain all over. But now at 50, I'm in the best health of my life. I live in beautiful Puerto Rico. I can walk out to my garden and pick mangoes off my tree. And even though, I got coconuts growing outside the yard, pineapple
coming over.
Baby, listen. And when I can look outside and see literally what feels sometimes like the Garden of Eden, even though I'm in a very unique money experience right now, because God is taking us through some things so that we can be ready for our next level, I still feel like I'm rich. Like,
yes.
So that's what the book is about. It's the first and what I think is a volume, and that's when I had really long hair, y'all. I had to give you that.
That's all right. I got it for you, girl. Don't worry about it.
I love it.
That's what my book is about. And I got multiple income streams. I spend most of my time now since the pandemic doing voiceovers. And that's how I've been really, just using my voice to create an income doing things that I love right here from home.
Everybody has a story.
And when you hear other people's stories, it's like, okay, so you went through that as well, and not just in an industry, but just in life.